Multiplayer games are by far the biggest genre of games, and for good reason. It allows for you and a group of other people just to hang out and have a good time. It doesn't matter if you are with a group of your own friends or complete strangers, you will still enjoy your time playing this game. Adding the word multiplayer into anything is pretty vague because it technically means any game that allows you to play with other people. This list is a bunch of random multiplayer games, not in any specific genre of multiplayer games. Every game on this list has good reviews on Steam, and do have people playing them. Some might require you to get a couple of friends to join you to have a bit more fun, so keep that in mind. Before we get into the video, make sure to give this video a like if you end up playing any of the games on this list. Also consider checking out our gaming podcast, which we live stream every Saturday morning. Let's get into the first game on this list. Super Auto Pets is one of those play for a little bit and then hop off type of games. It is an auto battler that takes some thought to play, especially if you're going up against someone online. The game itself is actually pretty simple. You get random animals that have different abilities, and you use those animals to defeat the enemy's animals. You get gold, which you can use to swap out animals or even upgrade them in certain ways. Each animal might have something different, and you can level up to unlock better and better animals to use. If you are going to play online, then you might want to play the single player or practice with a friend first. You can buff certain animals to give them an edge over the enemy, and it is up to you to make the most overpowered animal team possible. It doesn't take long to learn, but it is one of those games that you can get absolutely demolished by the enemy team if they know what they're doing. It is one of those games that you can play a few rounds with your friends, so if you're looking for a simple game that you can just relax and play with a buddy, then this game is definitely worth checking out.
Neighbor Fight is definitely a dumb game, but a fun dumb game. It's a multiplayer strategy game where your goal is to basically destroy your neighbor's house by tossing furniture at it, and I guess building a business by selling weed. I'm not joking, that's actually a mechanic in the game. You can also hire aliens to work for you in helping you destroy your neighbor. You balance selling your weed and growing your business while keeping yourself alive and destroying your neighbor's business and house. So obviously, that's a lot to juggle. It can be played in 1v1, 2v2, all the way up to 4v4 in a public match. So there's a lot of variety here. Not a game you should probably take all too seriously, but one you'll definitely have a great time playing.
Super Animal Royale is a 2D battle royale where you play as cute little animals and fight other players to be the last one alive. You drop into the map on the back of a giant bird and collect items and equipment like you would in a typical battle royale game. Now this game is a lot more unique than other battle royales since it's 2D, while most battle royales are in 3D. Even though it might not look it on the surface, this game is actually really fun and it actually can be kind of addicting if you really get into it. There are tons of animals to play as and lots of cosmetics to unlock, along with a lot of items, weapons, and equipment to find all over the place. The game also has a surprisingly large player base, and you almost never have any difficulties getting into a match. For all its strong suits though, this game seems to be very competitive and has a ton of sweaty players all over the place, which is surprising given the cute nature of the game. In most of the matches I played, there were players that would rush over to me and destroy me before I had a chance to even pick up a weapon. But this game does have more of a learning curve than other battle royales, since the 2D movement is something that you definitely have to play around with to figure out. I definitely recommend this game for anyone who likes battle royales at all, or someone who just wants a different take on the battle royale genre.
SAS Zombie Assault 4 is a game that we are very familiar with. It is a sequel to the 2011 SAS Zombie Assault 3, and it lives up to its predecessor. The game has both single player and multiplayer, and can be played with up to 3 other people in a squad. You go into the missions and earn cash, which you can then use to buy ammo, grenades, weapons, upgrades, and a bunch of other equipment. There really isn't much to say about the story of the game because it is kind of there to give the backstory to the locations you are visiting. There are wave-based modes, boss fights, and a ton of regular missions to complete. And yes, there are some in-game purchases you can buy in the store, but you don't need to purchase anything to have a good time with this game. If you don't have any friends to play this game with, there is an online mode that people are playing. The game isn't that big, so you might have some trouble finding other people, but there is an average of 200-ish people playing this game on Steam every day. If you enjoy zombie survival games, then go check this one out.
Clodhoppers is probably one of the more unique games I've covered on this channel. Imagine a claymation, chaotic, farm-ish Smash Brothers game. That's basically this game. The game is completely made with claymation, which I find insane. The game can be played either online with friends, single player, or even local multiplayer, which is a huge plus in my book. It's got a lot of fun characters and accessories. Oh, and you can play this game with up to 8 players. The brawling is good too. Feels fun and good. I mean, it's not going to be a super competitive game, more of a fun casual brawler. You can also get plenty of items like guns and melee items to use when fighting. It's just a good game, and if you're a fan of these types of games, this is going to be right up your alley. And considering it's free, it'll be super easy to convince your friends to get it too.
Mad Adventures is a multiplayer 3D platformer with roguelike and battle royale elements. It's a very similar game to Fall Guys, but with a much larger emphasis on power-ups and randomness in the minigames. The environmental art style is fun and similar to many roguelike games that I currently enjoy. I wasn't very impressed by the character models, but once you get into an actual game, you don't really notice it much. You can unlock lobby-wide upgrades by spending coins that you win in the matches, which will then give you extra lives or other modifiers to make it better for other players. The upgrades can help you survive longer or give you more health in case you lose a minigame. One of the best things about this game is that it's easier than other games in the genre, and it gives you lots more chances even if you make a mistake. It seems a lot more geared towards casual players rather than competitive ones, and honestly, I really like that because not every game has to be this competitive sweat fest to be fun. The one downside is that it doesn't seem like there are very many active players in the online lobbies, but if you have a group of friends to play with, then this game would be an amazing one to check out.
If you've ever played Overcooked or seen someone play it, One-Armed Cook is basically a similar concept, but you only have one arm and it's first person. You can play with up to 4 people online, and the basic premise of the game is that you need to work as a team to cook for this restaurant. Obviously, things get crazier and crazier, and you basically need to manage everything with just one hand. It's honestly a really fun game, and you can tell the devs just had a fun time making this game, and they didn't take it all too seriously. You can even upgrade the kitchen itself and get skins for your equipment. I don't know, it's a solid game and has a good reason to be on this list.
Cave Crawlers is a minimalistic roguelite game set underground with a voxel art style. The game can be either played in single player or with up to 10 players at a time. The style of the game is almost like a dungeon crawler where you go through these dark caves, defeating enemies and progressing to the next stage. Eventually, you'll make it to the boss of each section, which you can beat and then go on to the next hardest difficulty. The skill trees have a ton of different abilities to unlock, as well as lots of spells, weapons, and items to use. I'm a big fan of these types of roguelikes, even if it's obvious that this one is a bit rough around the edges. The characters have some voice acting in this game, which honestly is pretty low quality, and most of the voice lines are just memes that the developer thought would be funny. I don't think I would recommend playing this game solo, but I think if you had a few friends to play with you, it would make the game a lot more enjoyable.
Project Playtime is a multiplayer game that is a Dead by Daylight clone, but in the Poppy Playtime universe. There are 5 people per match, and 4 of them are survivors, and the other 1 player is a monster they get to choose from. The main goal of the game is to have the survivors solve puzzles while avoiding the monsters. If you get caught, then your friends will need to save you. The game actually looks very good, and it is technically in early access, and it also didn't take long to find a match since the game itself is also very fun. It can be frustrating at times though if the enemy player knows what to do, because the puzzles take a bit long to solve. If you enjoy Dead by Daylight and the Poppy Playtime games, then you might want to check this game out. It is free, and you can even have a full lobby of your friends if that's something you want to do. These are all the games we have on this list. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and maybe consider subscribing. As we said earlier in the video, go check out our gaming podcast. We go live almost every Saturday, and we also talk with chat about some topics we are covering. We also release the podcast on YouTube and Spotify if you can't make it to the live streams. We hope you enjoyed the video and want to make sure that we are giving the best information on what games you should play or check out next. Thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you in the next video.